Have you ever wondered why the Royal National Lifeboat Institution, or RNLI, pays to launch their boats? A perplexing question indeed, considering the RNLI's crucial role in preserving lives at sea. The answer is as surprising as it is disconcerting. The royal family, yes, you heard it right, charges this noble institution for the use of their beach. This irony isn't lost on us. It's a curious case of life-saving efforts being monetized. So let's dive deeper into this controversial issue. It might surprise you to learn that until last year, the RNLI was charged £600 a year to use the Royal Beach in Salcombe, an arrangement that may seem absurd to many, particularly when you consider the nature of the RNLI's work, saving lives at sea. In the quiet town of Salcombe, a picturesque location in the South Hams district of Devon, England, the RNLI had been paying this fee for years. The lifeguard service, largely dependent on donations and the goodwill of the public, had to dig into their funds to ensure access to the beach. A beach that could be the difference between life and death in a rescue operation. The public first became aware of this arrangement when investigative journalists brought it to light. The reaction was, unsurprisingly, one of shock and disbelief. The idea that a life-saving organisation was being charged to use a beach, and by none other than the royal family, seemed outrageous to many. The story spread like wildfire, with social media platforms buzzing with indignation. Petitions were started, demanding an end to the fee. The hashtag #FreeTheBeach began trending, and the debate over the ethics of the charge dominated the news cycle for weeks. The public's outcry was not just about the fee itself, but what it represented. Here was an institution, the royal family, that many felt was out of touch with the realities of the day-to-day struggles of ordinary people. The charge seemed to epitomise this disconnect, and the public's response was a clear demand for change. And what about the RNLI themselves? How did they take the news? With grace and dignity, as one might expect. While they acknowledged the controversy, they remained focused on their mission, to save lives at sea, a mission they were determined to continue, regardless of the cost. So how did the royal family respond to this public outcry? When faced with criticism, the royal family is known for their strategic silence, but in this case, they had to react. The revelation that the royals were charging the RNLI for the privilege of saving lives was met with widespread disbelief and discontent. After all, it's not every day that you hear about a family with a fortune estimated in the billions squeezing a few £100s annually from a charity. The public outcry was loud and clear, and the media scrutiny was intense. The royals, usually so adept at managing their public image, found themselves in an uncomfortable spotlight. The charges against the RNLI were not just a PR disaster, they were an affront to our collective sense of decency. Faced with this backlash, the royal family chose to respond, not through a statement or a press conference, but through action. They ceased charging the RNLI. It was a swift and necessary decision, but was it enough? Their decision to stop charging the RNLI was a step in the right direction, but it was a reactive move, not a proactive one. It was made under pressure, not out of a genuine understanding of the wrongness of their actions. And it leaves us wondering how many other charities are being charged for their services. How deep does this rabbit hole go? This decision, while commendable, reveals a reactive approach to public relations. They wait for a crisis to happen, then scramble to manage the fallout. It's a strategy that may work in the short term, but it's not a sustainable way to manage their public image. The royal family's response to this controversy has shown us that they are not infallible. They make mistakes, they misjudge situations, and sometimes they get it wrong. But they also have the power to make it right. Their decision to stop charging the RNLI is a testament to that power. It shows us that they can listen, they can change, and they can do better. But it also raises a question that lingers in the air, long after the royal smiles have faded and the public eye has moved on to the next scandal. But what happens when the royal smiles fade? When Prince Charles visited the RNLI in Kent, he was all smiles. But what lies behind those smiles? It's a fascinating question, isn't it? The royal family, with their charming displays of support, can create a captivating facade. But once you peel back the layers of pleasantries and public appearances, a different picture begins to emerge. Let's delve deeper into this and uncover the truth. The royal family, despite their public display of support, has been profiting from the RNLI. The lifeboats, the very lifeblood of the RNLI, were being launched from a beach in Salcombe, owned by none other than Prince William himself. And for this, the RNLI was charged an annual fee, a staggering £600 per year, until journalists pressured him to stop last year. This isn't just about the money, it's about the principle. The RNLI, a charity organisation dedicated to saving lives at sea, was being charged by the very people who should have been their staunchest supporters. This isn't just a matter of profiteering, it's a matter of trust. It's a matter of integrity. The implications of this for the royal family's reputation are significant. It's a stark contrast to the image they project in their public appearances. The smiles, the charm, the warmth, they all seem to mask a different reality. And it's a reality that's far from the ideals they publicly espouse. The revelation of the royal family's actions raises questions about their commitment to the causes they claim to support. It's a stark reminder that actions speak louder than words, and in this case the actions are a far cry from the public image they strive to maintain. So the next time you see Prince Charles or any member of the royal family flashing a warm smile at a charity event, remember this: appearances can be deceiving. Beneath the veneer of royal charm and philanthropy may lie a different story, a story of self-interest and opportunism. It's clear that the royal family's actions don't always match their public image. This story is just one example of the royal family's dubious financial dealings. It's a tale that, unfortunately, weaves itself into a much larger tapestry of questionable actions. Let's step back for a moment and consider the wider implications. This isn't just about the RNLI, a noble institution in its own right. This is about the countless public institutions and the people who rely on them, who are indirectly impacted by such transactions. It's a pattern we've seen time and time again, the royal family profiting at the expense of the public. Remember the uproar when it was revealed that the Duchy of Cornwall, Prince Charles's private estate, was charging the NHS for the use of a parking lot? Or when it was discovered that public funds were used to refurbish Frogmore Cottage, the residence of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex? Each time the justification seems to be the same: the royal family brings in tourism revenue, so these costs are warranted. But is that really a fair trade-off? Is it right for the royal family to profit from institutions that are meant to serve the public, especially when many of these institutions are struggling with funding? And let's not forget, these are not isolated incidents. They're part of a larger narrative that raises serious questions about the role of the monarchy in modern Britain. It's a narrative that challenges us to examine whether the values we hold dear, fairness, equality, public service, are truly represented by the current system. The royal family's actions have consequences, and they reach far beyond the walls of their palaces. They ripple out, affecting public institutions, taxpayers, and the very fabric of British society. This isn't about vilifying individuals or demanding drastic change overnight. It's about opening a dialogue, about questioning if the current system is truly serving the interests of the British public. It's about ensuring that the institutions we hold dear aren't being undermined for the sake of tradition or privilege. It's time to question whether the royal family's actions are in the best interests of the British public. So, where does this leave us? We've journeyed through a narrative that has revealed a stark contrast between the public image of the royal family and the actions they undertake behind closed doors. We've seen how they've exploited the very institutions that serve to protect us, like the Royal National Lifeboat Institution. The beach in Salcombe, once a symbol of the royals' generosity, was tarnished when we learned it was used as a means to extract funds from the RNLI. This is a family that presents an image of benevolence and grace, yet their actions tell a different story. The smiles we see during public appearances, as we saw when Charles visited the RNLI in Kent, mask a reality of profit and self-interest. We've been led to question the status quo, to peel back the layers of royal decorum and see what lies beneath. The implications of these revelations are profound. They challenge our perceptions of the royal family and call into question the very nature of their role within our society. The truth, as we've discovered, is often hidden behind the smiles. It's a truth that demands our attention, our scrutiny, and our action. It's a truth that we must confront if we aspire to a society that values fairness and transparency above all else. Thank you for joining us in this exploration of the royal family's actions. Remember, the truth is often hidden behind the smiles.